Marvel Legends, Avengers, Beyond Earth's Mightiest, 60 Years of Earth's Mightiest, Thor versus the Destroyer. Let's get it. What is good, my peeps? It is the Ruckus back at you again with another action figure review. And today we have a good one. Continuing on with Beyond Earth's Mightiest, 60 Years of Earth's Mightiest. We talk about the Avengers 60th anniversary. They've got the campaign going. What we've got here is sure to be my highlight of this entire campaign. We're talking about Thor versus Marvel's Destroyer. Yes, indeed. We're getting, for the first time, Eric Masterson, Thor, and most importantly, the star of the show, I'm quite sure, we're getting for the first time in Hasbro, we are getting the Destroyer. We got a Destroyer before, but it was really a variant of Iron Man's Thor Buster armor. It wasn't the size we wanted, and it wasn't truly accurate to how the character really appeared, but we technically had a Destroyer. So, it's about time that Hasbro caught up. And I say caught up because we did get a Destroyer from another company, from Marvel Select. We got a Destroyer from them, and that Destroyer was definitely banging, and we're going to see how this one measures up to that one. But right now, let's take a look at the packaging. You got the 3D render of both Thor and the Destroyer right there, and you see the Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest logo at the top there. We've got that 60 Years of Earth's Mightiest logo. Turning to the side and tilting, we've got artwork of Thor and the Destroyer. On the flip, we have another digital sketch of Thor and the Destroyer. Turning to the back, we have more digital sketches of Thor wearing his helmeted head, the mask, and the Destroyer. Look at the size of the Destroyer, something else. We see the accessories that come with both Thor and the Destroyer. Turning back to the front, just so we can get this party started, take a look at that packaging one final time because it's time to get it on. And here we have both figures on our rotating base. And this is definitely going to be, at least for me, the highlight of this 60th anniversary campaign. This is definitely going to be my favorite set, most likely, and we still have, as far as I can tell, 4 more offerings for this campaign. Yeah, we've got Cersei and Black Knight, that's an Amazon exclusive. We've got Hulk and Bruce Banner. We've got Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel, and Doom from the Secret Wars. And I believe we also have, and the Super Adaptoid. And as much as I love Hulk, there's no way that that set is going to beat out this one. But let's not jump the gun, because who knows. But yeah, I think I'm already set. This is going to be the set of this particular campaign. We're going to peep out Thor first. And the first thing we're going to look at on Thor, of course, is the head sculpt. This, of course, you see Thor is bearded. This right here can be used as Eric Masterson, or it could be Thor. Thor's appeared bearded before, so you can use this particular head sculpt and play him off as that Thor. But in terms of Eric Masterson, how we truly know him in his Thor guise, this would be the helmet in question right here, the head sculpt in question. This is how he appeared when he first took over the mantle of Thor. And then in terms of just going through the other accessories, we get a left fist. It'd be nice if I would actually show you guys the fist right there. So we get that. And then what would Thor be without Mjolnir? So we definitely get that, and it has the inscription on there, just like all of the other hammers that we've gotten from Hasbro. Now, in terms of the rest of our Thunder God here, you see that the helmet is molded in a pretty shiny kind of metallic gray there. The wings, they look very nice. They're white and bordered with silver. Pretty nice. The hair, his hair is, he's got the blonde thing going. And I want to say that there's a slight wash, because I'm looking at the beard and I see some darkness in some of the wrinkles in the beard. So there may be a slight wash in there. Then going down the body, you see he's got the circles there. He's rocking 4 of them on this particular costume or uniform or garb, whatever you want to call it for Thor. You wouldn't necessarily want to call it a costume. You see that the sides are, his ribs basically are exposed. That's how Eric Masterson Thor appeared, even though Thor Prime has appeared that way before too. This buck is, of course, the 80th anniversary buck, and they've been getting their use out of it. We got it with Ragnarok, and of course, the original 80th anniversary Thor. We got it for that too, and I'm sure they'll figure out ways to utilize it again. If anything, I think that because we have this head now, and if they find a way to retool this body, we could actually get Cursed Thor. Now, Cursed Thor, anybody doesn't understand that terminology. Cursed Thor, this was back in the Walt Simonson run, where Thor had gotten cursed by Hela, goddess of death, and cursed with having brittle bones and immortality, true immortality, as in he can't die, even as an Asgardian, and being virtually immortal, or in Asgardian's cases, long-lived, they can still be killed. But Hela denied Thor death while making his bones brittle, so he would always be in eternal pain. Not just that they'd be brittle, they can't heal. So he ended up getting a suit of armor made that was enchanted. And if you want an idea of what that armor looked like, look to the armor that Thor wore when he first encountered Gore. I lost the word there for a second. Gore the God Butcher in Thor Ragnarok. When he faced Gore the God Butcher in Thor Love and Thunder, the 4th movie, and his enchanted armor looked similar to that. You add that with that helmet, and make it for the comic book run. Then we could actually get that. That would be cool to get Cursed Thor. Anyhow, looking at the rest of Thor, he's going to be pinned because this is an older buck, obviously. The 80th anniversary from a few years ago. I think that was 2018, 2019 maybe. And you see he's got the belt there, which is nice and painted gold. Got the T symbol, and then the legs blue, and then his boots, which are definitely different from the primary Thor. You see them, they're not really liking the boots in terms of not their design, but they just look too plastic. in terms of the color that they used when they molded it. But that's really about the size of it. And the back, he's got the rubbery kind of cape, which makes him back heavy, so he will be tipping a lot, lifting the cape up so you can see the back. You see the hair back there. So yeah, that is basically, get him to sit up some. Jeez, that is our Eric Masterson Thor. Since I did a review of Ragnarok, which is the exact same buck, I won't go through the articulation. I will put in the end screen a link to that review if you want to see the articulation scheme for this figure to be the same exact as the Ragnarok figure. We will take a measurement because you all know how sporadic I am about doing that, but I've been pretty consistent lately. So let's try to keep that train going, shall we? Thor's coming in. If you go to the top of the helmet, he's at about 7¼ inches tall. If you go to the tip of the wings, we're talking 7¾ inches tall. Here's Thor with his other helmet, or I should say other head sculpt with the helmet, with the masked helmet on. And before I even go further on that, there are differences that I didn't mention when I was showing the head off by itself. The wings on this particular helmet are more naturally feathered looking. They're not bordered or silver or anything like that. They're just straight up white. And then of course you see the silver color of the helmet itself. So there it is. And then of course he's sporting the hammer and the closed fist on that left hand. Now here's a comparison between the 80th anniversary, our first Thor on this buck, and our current Eric Masterson Thor. And you see the differences, obviously, with the head sculpts. That's, of course, the straight up difference. When you look at the torsos, you notice that the 80th anniversary Thor has 6 circular plates on the torso, as opposed to Masterson's 4. And got different shades of blue on the legs. And then look at the boots. You can definitely see the differences there. The primary Thor, the 80th anniversary Thor, he's got the wrappings for his boots, whereas the Masterson Thor, you see what type of boots he's sporting. And of course, his boots are molded in that plastic looking, I guess you want to call it gold, I don't know, but yeah, that's what you got there. Other than that, the same thing is going on. You see, I got the custom cape on the 80th anniversary Thor, and yep, I'm going to have to get a custom cape for Masterson too. And now for me, the star of the show, talking about the Destroyer. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Long awaited. Long awaited. We finally got him, and right off rip, I'm highly impressed. The size is crazy, and it's not going to be much to him. He's basically an automaton, a robot, for lack of a better phrase. And if you don't know anything about the Destroyer, he is basically an indestructible shell created by Odin, All-Father of Asgard. And the way how the Destroyer gets powered is through an entity's life force. So the life force would inhabit the body, and that would animate the armor. And the armor is, I already said, it's indestructible, and it is equipped with all kinds of weaponry. He makes Tony Stark's Iron Man armor look like Tonka toys or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Some of the names of he's got energy blast. He's got something called nuclear ripsaws. What does that even mean? You know what I'm saying? He has the power of total disintegration, and I'll stop there because speaking about that power, the way how that power is engaged is the visor would flip down, and it would start to power up. You'd know it. It's not like it's instant. He has to build up energy before he unleashes the power of total disintegration. And unfortunately, we don't have that feature here. The visor is fixed, so there'll be no flipping down. It would have been nice if we got an additional head sculpt that actually had the visor flipped down, so it could utilize that power. It would have been nice if we got some type of newfangled energy effects. And I say newfangled because this is a big figure. The typical effects that we normally get would not go with this particular figure. But you see what we have here, molded in a very shiny metallic silverish gray. We've got the spike action going on all the way down the arms. Pretty cool. He even got knuckle busters for spikes on them. And I mean, this guy. This guy is basically stronger than Thor. Can you imagine? You're stronger than Thor, and you still punching somebody with brass knuckles or knuckle busters, whatever, dusters, whatever they're called in certain places. You got the same thing on the other side. Turn this out so you can see we've got spikes going right down the sides of the torso, down the sides of the legs. This is pretty cool. And then turning to the back, just got that line work going on back there. So other than that, there really isn't much happening. It's just the fact that it's the Destroyer. Getting a height measurement of our big boy here. And yes, indeed, he is a big boy. You have got to be kidding me. He's coming in at 9¼ inches tall. Now, we rarely get Build-A-Figures that are that size, that height. You know what I'm saying? As far as his articulation scheme goes, the head is on, it appears to be on a dumbbell. Yeah, I think it is. It's on a dumbbell. And so he can look up that much, not much at all. That's usually what happens with the dumbbells, though, unfortunately. He's not getting much looking down either. You're getting nice tilt, and of course you can 360 it. He's got shoulder pads, so be aware of that. The Destroyer can get almost 90 degrees poking out, and the shoulder pads are part of the shoulder itself, so you can spin it 360. He's got bicep swivel, single jointed elbow, and the elbows also swivel. He's got rotating wrists, and of course the wrists hinge horizontally, and that's on all of his hands. In terms of the torso, he's got a diaphragm that he can, kind of tight, but he could bend that far forward. And he can bend that far back. Not bad at all. Our Destroyer can lean with it, rock with it, and you can rotate. As far as doing the splits, the Destroyer, look at that. Can get going on doing the splits that way. He can bust a 90 with the leg kick. He can go back decently for a big guy. He's got the thigh cut. He's got, tight. But they work their pinless knees. I managed to get it. Pinless knees, double jointed, of course. And he can point his toe tight, forward that much. Very, very good with that. Up, back, not so much, but it does a little bit. Does have ankle pivot, and even the Destroyer has peg holes. Looks small, but he's got them. The bottom of his feet. Here's the Destroyer with his second set of hands. His left hand is a grabby hand, and the right is a C gripper. Now, he comes with nothing else, so you may be asking, well, why does he have a C grip hand? That's because since the Destroyer isn't a living being, just an automaton, it can lift Thor's hammer, and has done so in times past. It was especially problematic when Thor had had an alter ego when he was Dr. Don Blake, and he had the 60-minute time limit separation curse, if you will, or stipulation on it. And it used to happen quite a bit, the Destroyer being able to wield the hammer. Now, some comparisons. What we have here is the first offering of the Destroyer. This is way back in the Toy Biz days. This was the variant to the Thor Buster Iron Man armor that was part of the MODOK series. So all they did was they changed the head. Obviously, the paint apps are different than your typical crimson and gold. So that, it's a very nice wash. Very nice wash. You got to give them that. That's for sure. On the paint apps there, but you could see it's just way too small. Way too small. And here we have the Marvel Select Destroyer. This was really pinned, I believe it was pinned Allfather Odin or something like that. It wasn't even pinned the Destroyer. It was really Odin in Destroyer armor, and the Destroyer head was the accessory, believe it or not. But look at the size of that Destroyer. That Destroyer is clearing 10 inches tall for sure. But Hasbro knew that if they were going to do a Destroyer of their own, they're going to have to knock it out the park, because they knew and they know that Marvel Select has been the definite go-to stand-in, and it still holds up today. If Hasbro didn't come up with a Destroyer, the one on our right, this Marvel Select Destroyer, would still fit the bill. It's got more or less the same articulation as the Hasbro version has, because this Destroyer actually came out when Marvel Select started to improve on their articulation, and the Destroyer was definitely a beneficiary of that. And just so you get an idea of how truly big the Destroyer is, I got him next to a figure that we all know is huge. We've got the 80th anniversary Hulk. Like I said, big boy. He's towering over Banner. And so as we wrap up this review of the Hasbro Marvel Legends Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest, 60 years of Earth's Mightiest, we're talking about Thor versus the Destroyer 2-pack. Yes, indeed, I stated that this is going to be my highlight of this entire campaign, and I'm not backing down from that. This is great. Just because of the Destroyer alone, I'm not even going to front. The Destroyer definitely makes this set. Also, getting Eric Masterson, the Eric Masterson version of Thor is an added plus. Excellent reuse of the 80th anniversary Thor. I think they can take some inspiration from some of what they've done here. Like, I'm blazing the helmeted head right now, and with a little bit more tooling on that helmet, they could make it suitable for a cursed Thor. They'd probably have to come with they could retool the Thor buck, but considering that it would be totally armored, I think they'd have to come up with a whole new body. So that may mean we'll never see that, but who knows? You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, you got the hope for that. And of course, the Destroyer. I mean, it speaks for itself. It is just, it's huge. 9 and 9.5 inches, 9 3/4 inches. I measured it at. It's just absolutely huge. We get Build-A-Figures that aren't as large as the Destroyer is. Definitely long awaited, and we finally got him. In terms of a con for the Destroyer, it would have been nice if we had gotten an additional head sculpt with the visor down, or the ability for the visor, if the visor was somehow articulated so it would flap down, so as to demonstrate the Destroyer's ability to initiate total disintegration, which would have been very nice. The spikes are cool. Speaking of the spikes, keep in mind that when you're changing the hands out, those spikes are going to jab you. So definitely be wary of that. But yeah, this is a great 2-pack, and another offering for the 60th anniversary Avengers campaign, and I'm definitely here for it. Yeah, there's nothing else to say about this pack. Let's just hope that the remaining offerings for this campaign can measure up to this, because that's how we need it to be done.